What's up everybody? It's time for another 3-hour-long Jubagel video where we talk about every single monster you don't care about for about 20 minutes each. No, let's try to make the video, I don't know why I'm telling you guys, let's try to make the video 20 to 30 minutes because you guys are like, yeah, Jubagel, why don't you try to make, we're not recording the video, you do it in 20 to 30 minutes. Why does it take you so long to say anything, Jubagel? Oh my god. And then we do like 30 seconds of like not even like not anything and just explaining that it takes us too long to explain. Whatever. So this week in Stones, we've been doing this the past couple weeks. This week in Stones, we got a lot of CC. We got some good TOA monsters. What do we have? I don't think it's gonna be too many people summoning. I know I like to go over these because it's nice since more people are summoning the stone monsters every week rather than other monsters. But I don't think too many people are using the stones this week unless they specifically want Water Chimera or Fire Sea Emperor or something like that, because I don't really see the other ones like She's Fusion. A lot of times people will save for Galleon Week, for Zyros Week, the hot ones. Everyone's like, I want Tiana, Samath, Galleon, Zyros, the more meta-relevant monsters. What else? Some people, Orion, Vertiheel, Lucian. Chloe used to be a week people would save for, but she's kind of fallen off the radar since there's so many Tianas, so many pay-to-win players too, and players have been playing so long that a lot of people have summoned Tianas that Chloe on Arena Defense really isn't what she used to be. It's like, oh, fast Chloe, can't get Lucian. Yeah, with Tiana, Chiwu, there's nothing like, and I think Tiana and Chiwu are next week too. Lols. So it's gonna be pretty straightforward next week. Actually 3 strippers next week. Look at that. Interesting. But this week we got a lot of CC. Let's just get down into it. But I don't think too many people are gonna be summoning this week. Is what I was gonna say. All right. So we've got CC. He has a CC too. This is the freeze and slow. Sister slow. And then who else has CC? Oh, and Tyron. Tyron's got that, okay, but good monsters for TOA too. Like these, the top row is pretty good for TOA. I mean, Chimera's... He's still good for TOA, but like, maybe not the first choice. He can be. I know someone that has a speed crit damage attack, Despair focus, I think, for, their Water Chimera. Anyway, let's take a look at Water Chimera. Is a monster that I really want. I know I'm not summoning scrolls this week, summoning stones this week, but I mean, I have 2 of them, and I don't really need a second Okeanos. I don't need a second Jameer, right? Jameer really only need 1 of. I mean, like Okeanos, you can still build 2 different ways, but Jameer you only really need 1 of. Continuous damage for 1 turn, not very exciting. Squall, faster your attack speed, the greater the damage becomes. Attack speed is increased for 2 turns if you get a critical hit. Okay, so you see you want to ruin him with speed slots usually. Or generally, because attack speed, he's based on attack speed. Generally you run speed, swift monsters here. No, speed slot 2 for attack speed. You can run him swift actually, you can run him swift. And then we have Crush, attacks the enemy, freezes the target for 1 turn, and slows the rest of them. And then we get this leader skill, increase the HP of ally monsters with water tribute by 50%. Now, I don't have a Water Chimera, but I do know the places that Water Chimera is used. I don't see the leader skill, because he's usually runed squishy, and he's usually for offense. For Guild War offense, for Arena offense, and for Dragon's B10. So I really don't see this HP. Since he's ruined as like speedy damage dealer, I really don't see this being used too much. Excuse me, oh my goodness. But it's there in case you need to use it. It is there. But I think the Water Archangel is used, HP leader skill is used more often because it makes more sense. He's an HP monster. This with the Chimera, it's like, no, you need turn 1, otherwise there's a decent chance you might be dead by turn 2. But this is nice to have the speed. This is nice. Where is he used for? He's used in Dragon's B10 because he slows and he does big single target damage. He's got the AoE slow, freezes 1 unit. More reliable than other monsters that just do single target damage and nothing else. He freezes, it's not really about the freeze, it's about this slow on the third skill, slowing down those towers. Those towers. No pun intended. Because his name, right? Okay, so it's about slowing down those towers on the left and the right so that the dragon can't get immunity. Because as soon as the dragon gets immunity, it's a little harder to complete it. Your reliability goes down. And of course, the big single target damage, right? Squall does big damage to the dragon, element advantage, etc., etc. So this is really nice for Dragon's B10. Also really nice against, especially since there's a lot of fire tanks in arena defense. Now you can't really put him in arena, I mean, you can't really put him in arena defense himself because he's easily Lucian. That's the reason he's never in high level arena defense. He's never in, I've seen him sometimes in Guild War defense, like Galleon, Galleon Bernard and Blueberry Chimera. We'll kind of call him the Blueberry Chimera. I've seen him in arena defense as like a YOLO kind of thing where it's not really meant like, you still can, the enemy can come in and they can cleave it, right? They can do double shield will, but he does with attack power buff and with speed buff, he does so much damage with Squall. He can still kill something. You gotta be careful. He can still kill something even without a defense break. So I've seen this before. A really well runed Chimera. Speed crit damage attack is how you rune him. You can rune him Fatal, you can rune him Rage, you can rune him Swift, you can rune him Violent. Those are the most viable ones. Speed crit damage attack, he is for offense. You don't need to worry about runing him tanky unless you're trying to do like a little tricky sneakies in World Arena and you're trying to make him like speed crit damage defense and tanky overall subs where he's like, he still does good damage, he still has good speed, but he's got like his tanky HP stats, HP percentage stats and defense percentage stats. But really, I don't think that I would recommend that. I would still go for the YOLO. He's a YOLO speed nuker. You do still have to make sure he doesn't outspeed your Galleon though. Galleon still should be faster than him. A lot of people run Galleon on Swift. If you have to, you have to, but really, you don't need to necessarily run Galleon on Swift to make Galleon, like, Galleon does not need to be 250 speed, right? Galleon just needs to be faster, slightly faster than your damage dealer. So if you're going to use him in offense, Galleon, or whatever defense breaker you have, because you could still use, like, you can still use, what could you use? What could you use? You can use a team. I'm trying to think of other teams that don't involve Galleon. As long as you have a defense breaker and a speed buff is nice, you can use him with Bernard. I encountered, when I was first started the game, a defense that wrecked me. I don't remember what the leaders, I think the leader skill might have been Tyron. I think it might have been, whatever, it was something, and Bernard, Lure, Water Chimera, and this was before Will Runes, and he just like demolished everything before I had a turn to move. I was like, oh my god, that's ridiculous. Outsped, Bernard buffed the speed of everyone, Lure defense broke, pushed back the attack gauge before I could even move, and GG, that's all she wrote. I mean, really nothing. I think it was Tyron too, but that was before Will Runes, of course. You can't really use him. He's really not as reliable on defense, especially because he can just easily get Lucian, right? But just with Will and Shield, even for Guild War defense, it's not the greatest team, but YOLO. And the nice thing about that, the one thing about that defense is you might lose a lot, but you don't know what's happening when you lose, right? Like you look at your log and you're like, I got a lot of defense fails. Damn, this team is not doing good. It might be, you might be killing one or two members of the opponent's offense, and then they might be failing the next one of your teammates that they attack because they don't have the monsters anymore that they go, like their go-to units. So that could still be helping to win defense successful for the guild, even if your defense loses. Remember, keep that in mind. It's not always about having defense successfuls. It's also about taking out some of the opponent's key units. So especially in like mid-game, for higher levels, like there's so many players in higher level, like in G2, G3 guilds that are like, they just have like 15 different Guild War teams and they don't even care. It doesn't matter if one dies. Like, oh, my Galleon died, that's fine. I have 3-4 Galleons. They're all whatever, it doesn't matter that you took out one of my key units because I have multiple of the same one, right? So it does happen. So, or even if they don't have multiple of the same one, they have like plenty of different answers to different teams. So, but for like, for mid game, it's not the worst Guild War defense, but an easily Lucianed arena defense, right? Then we have the Fire Sea Emperor. So that's where I would use him. I would use him in Dragons. I would use him definitely amazing in Dragons. You can also use him in Giants. He's amazing in Dragons and Giants, and you can use him in Guild War offense and arena offense. Beautiful, speedy, damage dealer, speed crit damage attack. Either fatal, rage, swift, or violent are both good. And I think he wiggins into crit rate too, which is nice, which you could get him pretty high crit rate. You can get it, a lot of people have 100% crit rate on him. It's not that hard. We have the Fire Sea Emperor. Okay, so where can we use him? We can use him for... I really don't see him being used in like Dragons or anything. Or Giants. I haven't tried using him in Necropolis, actually. Just because mine is a World Arena build. He's great for World Arena. I've seen him on Guild War defense. I've used him on Guild War offense, but it really doesn't do that well because he's just for CC. And it's really like... Yes, I always feel like it should do better. Maybe I just get bad RNG. It's Guild Wars, of course it's bad RNG. But maybe this is just that. But where he shines is in World Arena. And he shines in TOA. He's great for TOA. This crowd control is crazy. Now, we've got this transferring a weakening effect on you to the enemy. Good with revenge. We've got the Spear of Devastation. Attacks the enemy 2 times each attack, removing 1 beneficial effect. Sets back the target skills to max cooldown. So this is kind of misleading. 2 times with each attack it says, it kind of sounds like it's saying each attack removes 1 beneficial effect, but it's not. The first attack removes 1 beneficial effect, and the second one sets the target skills to max cooldown. So if you don't remove the beneficial effect with the first skill, then, like, if you don't remove will runes, then GG. But it's a really nice second skill. And then we have this. This is such a great, reliable CC, reliable stun. It's beautiful. I have mine on speed, defense, HP, on Swift, Swift broken set. But he needs good speed, he needs good accuracy, of course, because he's got everything. He also has the leader skill too. I did a video, I know you guys have seen the video, I'm sure, a couple days ago, using him against Praha and Ariel and Light Panda in arena defenses. And I like to use him against that too. That's just the secondary use for him, but mostly I use him in not Guild War, in World Arena. And also he's good for Holy Heroes, because he's got the CC, he's got the crowd control, and he's good for TOA as well, with this. Now the reason that I think Swift is good on him instead of Violent, I know a lot of people do Despair. You don't need to do Despair. This is already a stun. This is already an AoE stun, right? You don't need to do Despair on this guy at all. I would not. It's just unnecessary. It's just a waste. So the Violent thing, right? He already basically gives himself another proc. You don't need Violent on him because he already, if he stuns, his attack gauge is recovered by 25% for each enemy stunned by his attack. So he basically, if you can stun, if you can get the stun off, if you can combo it right, you can get another turn anyway. So having him fast is more important. Having him fast. So I like to do him. That's why I put him on Swift. I really like mine on Swift. Also, I got the idea originally from Barian, who put his on Swift, and I'm like, you know what? That's a smart idea because of why he did it. So, yeah, otherwise I probably would have put him on Violent, right? Or I would have thought about it and been like, you know what, I probably should put him on Swift. But nice monster, mostly for World Arena and for, like I said, I have mine speed crit damage. It's weird, not speed crit damage, I have mine speed defense HP with as fast as possible that I can get him, and also decent accuracy, even though I usually use his leader skill or a different accuracy leader skill when I use him. But I know his type is attack, so you can also use him as a damage dealing monster. I have other options for damage dealing monsters, so I chose to use him as more of a tanky crowd control monster that also puts enemies skills on cooldown. So that's just the way I chose to use him for one specific thing. But if you do want to use him, like for example with the Stripper and Defense Breaker for arena offense, that's not a horrible idea either. That's still nice still a nice option because he is an attacker, right? And he does also get an extra turn, so you can nuke kind of with this, right? You can go into strip, defense break, have speed, crit damage, attack. You can nuke things down, or you can, I mean, violent would be also nice if you're going to use this Spear of Devastation first, but I still think Swift is the best way to go. I still think Swift is the best way to go because of this. Like, you could do this and then do this Spear of Devastation too. Like, you could do, well, I was going to say you could do Theomars, but I'd probably glance a lot on Theomars. But anyway, you could just do this, you could do the damage, and then you could do finish, you get another turn basically by, he gives himself another turn and then finish them off with a Spear of Devastation. Whatever. I'm just saying he's got some flexibility, but I use him a little bit, not a little bit weird, because a lot of people use him as a more tanky unit. But yeah. Next, we have Jameer, the Winged Dragon. I finally 6-starred this guy. I know he was sitting 5-star for so long. He was 5-starred. I finally gave him the love he deserves. All right, Thunderbolt shoots a lightning arrow at the enemy. Nothing special. Thunderbreak inflicts damage proportional to the target's max HP and randomly attacks other enemies 2 times with 20% of the damage. Additionally, this attack has a 40% chance to decrease the enemy's attack power for 2 turns. Damage based on max HP. And the Illusion of Time, which is basically, he's a team player. He's one of the best team players in the game because everyone gets their 3rd skills again. Everyone gets all their skills again, right? So like Perna, if Perna already revived, guess what? Perna gets to revive again. If, you know, it's the same thing with Sabath, whatever. It's the same thing with Lucian. You want to double Lucian something, you only have 1 Lucian, but you have a Jamire, there you go. You got a double Lucian, ghetto double Lucian monster. He's got a speed leader too, which is really nice. But yeah, really, he's a team player. He's a team player. I've seen people do double Katarina, basically 1 Katarina, but use Jameer Katarina. And basically double Katarina with Jameer, Kabezanuf, and Katarina. Kabezanuf is the Water Horus, which is fusible. And he's got this, which gives Katarina invincibility, and also attack, power buff, and crit buff. And I know I got those light. I don't know what I want to do with those. I mean, I know I want, yeah, I want to summon them, obviously, but not now. Not now. I can't take this bad RNG that's been happening the past 2 weeks. It's been just awful. It's been just probably worse than yours. Probably worse than yours. I summoned on all 4 of my, like all my main and my 3 baby accounts. I summoned on everything, and I got like, oh no, I summoned on the Island Wars accounts too, and it was like 1 lightning for all of the Island Wars accounts. Out of premium packs for all of them, 1 lightning. And then I summoned on like my main and the other, and I got 2 lightning on all 4 of those accounts. So I was like, 3 lightning in 8 accounts premium packs. That's not good. Okay, that's okay. Amazing. But yeah, Jameer's a team player. So Jameer, not as good with passive monsters. So don't team up with passive monsters. My Jameer is on speed, crit damage, defense. So the reason he's on speed, crit damage, defense is because I have him on violence and revenge. I don't know why he's on revenge. Maybe just because the stats were nice. Yeah, I think the stats were nice, and that's the reason that I had him on revenge. But he's basically meant to go, he's actually should be a little tankier than this. I don't know why he's not as tanky. I don't care about his accuracy either. That attack power break is not the biggest thing in the world for me. I don't really need it. But he's nice in TOA because all your crowd control is instantly reusable and again. And this is good against bosses, right? He used to be used in Giant Speed 10. He's nice in Giant Speed 10 in like early game, if you get him early game. But I really wouldn't continue to use him. There's faster things if you want like really speed run, like under a minute runs. You're not going to be using Jameer in there. Or maybe you're gonna prove me wrong. I don't know. But I don't ever see him in like the super fast late game giant speed runs. Not for giants, not for dragons. He's really for TOA. He's also, I have some guildmates that like to use him in World Arena, surprisingly enough. So he's for TOA he's good for, right? He's good with Katarina Kabezanuf, which are both fusible monsters, easy to get, nice Guild War combo. And then he's also good for... What else was I saying? Oh, World Arena. They like to use a very crowd control heavy composition with like things like I don't know if they're using him specifically, but they're using a lot of heavy cooldown units, CC units. Like I think maybe Hathor too, the Wind Desert Queen. And they're using Jameer. If the opponent lets Jameer through, that just increases all the crowd control way more. So it's really nice. They're like, oh man, you let Jameer through, thank you. I got crowd control for days now. The crowd control never goes off cooldown. I think he's good for violence. I think he's basically, he doesn't need to be, he's flexible for his runes. You don't need crit damage. You don't need anything specific. You just want him to get lots of turns so he can keep using his third skill. Crit damage helps him with, he'd do more damage to bosses with his second, but I think my Jameer actually needs to be tankier, right? He's just all support. He's just, you have to bring monsters with crazy long cooldowns on skill 3, or for all of them even, and then he just makes them so much more powerful, right? But if you bring a bunch of passive monsters, like if you're bringing Laika and Chow and things like that, there's no reason you need Jameer, right? There's no, you don't need, especially their second skills, like barely have any cooldown, you don't need Jameer for them. So, he's there for monsters that have long cooldowns on skill 2, somewhat, but mostly 3. And then we have Tyron, another one that's good for, Tyron used to be more relevant than he is now. He's not as relevant now because of will runes. When will runes were introduced, Tyron kind of fell off. He's like, okay, well, we're down. And now that, excuse me, I don't know why I'm burping so much right now. But now that we have, we're kind of seeing like less will runes to a point. Not like a lot less will runes, but like, if you know who you're going up against, you know they don't have will runes because they're running like triple nemesis or whatever, you can still use Tyron, and I don't know, I feel like he might make a kind of a comeback. He's got the speed leader, right? 19%, not bad. He's got this spirit throw. This is underrated. Throws a small spirit at the enemy, increases your critical rate by 30 at the next turn if you get a critical hit. But when he's awakened, he will continue to attack. He's got like a 30% chance to attack. Let's check him out. I got one in storage. I have one in storage. He doesn't have the best runes. I ruined him solo. I ruined him early game and I never changed the runes. He's speed, attack, attack. He should be speed, crit damage, attack, or speed, HP, depending on how you want to build him. But this attacks consecutively, 30% chance. So, and you know how violent procs work, right? You know how violent procs work. So, you can just keep attacking over and over and over and over again. I think this maxes out. It's been so long, so I might be wrong. I think it maxes out around 6 hits. I'm like I said, I may be wrong, but it does several, and you can buff your crit rate too in the meantime, and then start going crit crazy and do tons of like, it's a big damage for a skill. If you proc, it's huge damage. So that's underrated. He's got a great first skill, which potentially just wrecks anyone, right? Potentially, I mean, think about it this way. He could just one-shot Laika with his first skill if he procs twice. If it procs twice, just one-shot Laika. We've got this AoE glancing hit, two hits. And we have Hailstorm's attacks all enemies, freezes them for 1 turn. Good combination with Jameer too. When people were using Tyron, they were outspeeding, they were freezing everyone so the enemy like had, that's basically nullifying 4 turns of the enemy team, which was nice. When Will Runes came into play though, it's like, he's like, he does, his third skill doesn't do anything because Will Runes. But if you know that the enemy doesn't have Will Runes before you go into the battle, you can still take Tyron. I actually see some people, some like fighter and Conqueror players using, like Conqueror 1 players using Tyron in their arena offenses, and I'm like, you're using Tyron? They're like, yeah, there's no will runes down here, buddy. There's no will runes. Tyron works here. I'm sorry he doesn't work at your level, but he works here. And they're still using that that composition. So not bad. You also have to think about the viability of certain monsters based on where you are in arena. But yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Also, I think you could do like a Tyron Orion Guild War offense. Might not be too bad. Tyron Orion Gemini even. That would be fun. That would be a fun. I should do that. Tyron Orion Gemini. That'd be crazy, right? Because then you Orion, you get the first turn. You Gemini, you strip everything. Then the enemy has nothing on them, and then you Tyron, you freeze everyone. Oh man, that's actually not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea for Guild War offense. That might be interesting. Okay. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of Lycas on Guild War defense too. I like this. I like this. So Tyron, I think, is still. He fell off, but for the wrong reasons. Like his usability fell off when Will Runes came into play, and people. I think he's still usable. You just gotta take the right team. You know what? I gotta bust out Tyron again, man. I really do. I really want to bust out Tyron because I don't think he's as bad as like. He just got unused because of the Will Runes. People were like, okay, I gotta find a different team, but he didn't stop being used because he's a bad unit. He's still a very strong unit. Okay, then we have Fria. Fria's actually pretty popular for arena defense for higher level in Rush Hour. High resistance usually. Even though she has the resistance, you could use her leader skill. You could also not use her leader. Of course you could use it, or you could not use it. That's like, it's anything. That applies to anything. You could eat a hamburger, but you could also not eat a hamburger. Give us some more of your quality opinions, Jubagel. Okay. Continuous damage. AoE increases the attack power of all allies by 20%. You could put this on Despair. It's actually not bad. And sacrifices your HP to remove all harmful effects of all allies and fully recover the HP of all your allies. So it's nice, especially people usually run her really squishy so that she dies first. And for arena offense, of course, you're trying to nuke things as fast as possible. The whole strategy is you kill Fria, but maybe you can't quite kill the rest of your units. You're trying to double Lucian or whatever. You're trying to Zyros. If Zyros can't reset her, and Zyros just barely doesn't do enough damage to kill everyone else, she cleanses everyone else. She heals them up completely. And then GG. I mean, you better have some backup plan, because then everyone else is at full health again. And if you don't have a backup, you can still win the fight, but you have to. It might take you a little bit longer. So it's just more of a deterrent than anything else. Like, you can definitely still beat Fria teams easily. It's just like you have to take a slow team into it, or you have to change your arena offense up. There's different ways to beat Fria teams. I do know some tricks to beating Fria teams, but as long as you can either snipe her first and then do your like double Lucian nonsense, that's one way of doing it. Or you could just cool her down with Zyros, or you can cool her down with something else. You just have to make sure that the accuracy sticks. But she has been popular in even G3 arena defenses lately. In the past like several months, she's been very popular in G3 arena defenses. Surprisingly enough, we have Chloe. So Fria's actually not. She was a rip, but she's just become more relevant because it's like, well, things like Chloe have stopped being relevant, or as relevant anyway. But Chloe's still a great combination with Katarina. I've done a team called the Full Booty Team with Chloe for arena offense, where I use Katarina, Chloe, Kali, and Elena, or other, like if you have Shren works too. Basically, here's how it works. Katarina leader skill. If you need to use the Katarina leader skill, or if you have like low crit rate on one of the high elementals, you can use one of their leader skills. But I like the Katarina leader skill. With that, you can, as long as the enemy team does not have a stripper, right? Or even if it does have a stripper and you feel like they're gonna derp, or you feel like your resistance is gonna hold up, I mean, RNG, you never know, right? You can go in, you can use, like I said, Katarina, Kali, the Fire High Elemental, Water High Elemental, and Chloe. you can go in, you can use a Swift Chloe. She shields, her base speed is the same as Bernard. So with good runes, she can do the same speed. If your opponent has, let's say, oh, excuse me, again, damn. If your opponent has like, I don't know, what kind of speed leaders? I'm trying to think. As long as you're not going to get stripped, as long as you can get Chloe fast enough where she uses her skill and she doesn't, like for example, for like tanky bruiser teams with high resist, right? Like Nemesis monsters too, like Nemesis healers, like Ariel. You can use the full booty team. I like to call it full booty because it's all girls, and the high elementals have really big, tremendous booties. It's like, I don't know, like upside down turnips or something. I don't know. But use Can you just say how the team works? Just say how the team works. Chloe shields, she does her invincibility immunity. Kali moves next. Like they both, she shields first, right? Then the whole enemy team moves. The rest of, like all your damage dealers are all super slow, so it's not important to have high speed for all your runes with this team. The enemy team moves, they do all their nonsense, but you're invincible and you're immune, so nothing matters, right? And with the Katarina leader skill, if they try to, like if you got an Ariel you're fighting against, she might hit Chloe, or she might hit Kali, but it's okay because you got a 55% resistance leader skill, and it's, you know, pretty good chances of you resisting that first skill strip with Ariel or whatever, or even Veligil. Veligil sometimes is a little bit of a problem, but 55, that's why I like to use the Katarina leader skill. That's why. Because of resistance, because you don't want to get that invincibility stripped, right? You could also use shield on someone, so if Veligil does strip something, he will potentially strip the shield and not the invincibility. So there's also that. So shield on some monster would work fine in that team. But you use Chloe, the whole enemy team goes. You use Kali to attack buff and speed buff everyone. You don't really care about the speed buff, but it's mostly because she's ignore defense and she has an attack power buff too. Katarina goes next after that. Katarina's gonna sort of discharge, triple hit, ignore defense, kill something, with the attack buff, remember too. Elena's gonna go next, she's gonna ignore defense, she's a water unit, she's gonna ignore defense, whatever fire unit, if it's Veligil, if you did a little bit of damage to something else, maybe there's another water unit that needs to die, maybe there's like a light or dark unit, whatever. She's a water unit, she does ignore defense damage with her second skill, she'll have the attack buff from Kali too. Then you have, then there's some other monsters that'll go in between, and then Kali gets her second turn now after she buffed her attack power, of course, and she gives herself invincibility too, so if people start hitting her, it's fine. She has invincibility again for the second turn in a row, and then she'll just ignore defense with her second skill too. There's a lot of ignore defense. There's a lot of ignore defense, which is nice, and it's not Lucian reliant, right? It's 3 different elements. So you can do what you gotta do, but it's not Lucian reliant. You can also use Shren, the light high elemental. This way you have a cleanse too, in addition to element neutral ignore defense. Light elemental, element neutral ignore defense. I like to use that team. You can also use her Chloe's leader skill if you need to for that defense, but you don't need to. But that's how I still see Chloe as being relevant. Whereas like a lot of people are like, well, she can't be used in defense anymore. Yeah, but you can still use her in offense with certain teams. Then we have the Wind Lich. I was gonna say the Light Lich, and then I was gonna say the Wind Lich! Wind Lich! He's got this slow, it's a multi-hit first skill, slow. Multi-hit second skill, defense break, and then exchanges the speed break for a stun effect here. Exchanges the speed break from here with a stun effect here too. And then this one, Walk of the Dead. Wall of the Dead, not walk. I don't know why I said walk. Creates a shield every turn to absorb incoming damage portion at your level. Decreases the attacker's attack speed for 1 turn if you are attacked when you have the shield. Okay. Okay, now where do I see him used currently? There's so many people that have different wind, especially everyone's Chasoon. Everyone's building a Chasoon. Chasoon's not that hard to get. Pretty easy to get for a wind tank. So really, he used to be used somewhat as a wind tank. Not really anymore. Because he's got the shield. Mostly I see him being used for Necropolis. He's a good Necropolis monster on Violent Revenge. That's where I would use him nowadays. I really haven't tried him. I haven't seen anyone try to use him in Rifts. but I would use him for Necropolis. Attack, crit damage, attack, Violent Revenge is the better option. I know he's an HP monster, and I'm saying attack, crit damage, attack, but still I see that being, you have to kind of speedrun Necropolis. You can't try to take a slow, safe team and like, it's okay if it takes 7 minutes. If it takes 7 minutes, you're probably gonna die, right? You probably died way before. I don't know people that have 7 minute 747, never forget. But I don't know people, that wasn't the 747 Necropolis run though. But I'm just saying, the slower you are in Necropolis, the more likely you are to die. You kind of have to, not necessarily YOLO that, but you kind of have to slightly go on the faster side, kind of slightly push for the speedier runs, because it's more reliable based on the Lich King's passive. So you kind of gotta go the attack or damage attack, or even hybrid, but you can't try to go for the like super reliable run. Alright, but I think that's where he's still, I would use him for that. Liches are fantastic. They are my favorite monsters in Necropolis, are those Liches. I run the dark one and the water one for Necropolis. If I had the wind one built and I didn't have the dark one, then I would use the wind one instead. Not a problem there. Just tweak your turn order. If it's not working too much, if the wrong monsters are getting stolen and you don't have element advantage over them, tweak your speed, tweak your turn order to make sure, like little tweaks to the turn order of the team can make big differences. And like I said, Violent Revenge is the most effective for him for Necropolis. And you can either go attack or damage attack, or you could go hybrid, like attack or damage, defense, attack or damage, HP for damage attack, whatever. Then we have this girl. I think she's underrated, actually. Okay, I think she's underrated. She's got this, what does it do? Does it slow? Hold on, I have her. Do I have her out is the real question. I guess I don't have her out, that's fine. These things happen. Okay. When she's awakened, glancing hit debuff. Okay, glancing hit debuff, she does, it's also a triple hit, right? Which is good for Necropolis. I really don't ever use her for Necropolis. She's got multiple debuffs, but I still don't think she's really for Necropolis. I use her in the Water Rift Beast, and she's amazing. Also, I think you could use her as, her base defense is not really that high, though. I still think it's possible to use her as a damage dealer for raids. I have not really done it, but I think it still should be possible if you try to make her kind of, but you don't really need to. She's really good for the Water Rift Beast. Really good for the Water Rift Beast. She's got this defense, not this one. This is a shield, she heals herself. And this is, so she doesn't really need Vampire Runes or anything. And this is a speed break, attack power break, and defense break for 2 turns. 4 debuffs, plus this attack power leader skill is amazing. Amazing. I use her with, I think, Violent Fight. I mean, I would put all fight runes if I could on her for Water Rift. Because I think that's where she shines the most currently. That's where she shines the most. She's also not bad for, like I said, she could be used in Rift, but you kind of like gotta tweak her because her defense is not amazing. Look at her attack power compared to her defense. Crazy attack power. She does have some sustain for herself, but I think she's really for the Water Beast and also for Giants. She's a great monster for Giants too. Defense break, glancing hit, heals herself, and attack power buff, especially if you're using, like, if you want to use her for the big single target damage, secondary defense break as well, and then to buff, like, if you're using double Lucians, she can still, like, double Lucian Galleon, she still works with that. I think she's a really nice monster for that. She's not for everything, like, if you take her into dragons, you're gonna die. She's not for, really, you could use her in, I wouldn't use her in Guild War offense. I would still use Copper over something like her. I wouldn't use her. She's a single target monster. I wouldn't use her in arena offense. I wouldn't use her in anything like that. But for the Water Rift Beast, she's great. She's great for the water. She's one of the best monsters for the Water Rift Beast in the game. Uh-oh. Someone got something. Did someone get something? It might be a rune. Whatever. Anyway, so we've got that. Now we've got 39 minutes. It's better than an hour. Now I've got Water Minotaurus. I don't really like him. Provoke this and this and... yeah, it's just, he's an HP monster, but you recover by 35% if the enemy dies. Not my favorite. We've got the Water Elven Ranger. Triple hit, 2 to 3 hits, equivalent to your crit rate with the first skill. Doesn't really do any debuffs though. Stuns it here, and then you instantly get another turn if it's stunned. And then this is decreased attack gauge. So he's not that bad for like TOA. He might not be that bad. Oh my god, I gotta sneeze now. Might not be that bad for TOA. Water Bear Man. Water Bear Man has a Water Bear Man. Bellman has a passive. What's that other guy's thing for this guy's awakening? Powers up strafe. Decrease target. Okay, decrease attack gauge. This Bear Man though. Where is he? Where is he? Oh, he's not even close to where I was. He gets this passive. Decreases all incoming damage by 25%. He's a tanky monster. He's a water tank, basically. He's a water tank. He provokes, and then so the enemies hit him, but he takes less damage. So that's not bad. He's got decent damage mitigation. That's what my guildmate used to use him early game. He was like, he's got good damage mitigation, but aside from that, he's just a water tank. We've got this Fire Martial Artist. Stuns here, defense break here, and then gains immunity against defense decreasing effects, so immune to defense break. Not bad. But I hear he's like a little bit, he's like not as good as the other, like the Water Frankenstein is a little bit better than him, according to what I've heard. But I don't know, I've wanted to build him because it's rare, it's very rare to have a monster immune to defense break. And defense break is such a big part of the meta. I think he's good in Guild War offense, if anything, but it depends on the team that you're bringing him into. But he's immune to defense break, and he's got element advantage, because a lot of times people expect you to like try to Lucian or Copper them in Guild War defense, and they try to be anti-Lucian or Copper. But he's a nice fire damage dealer. So if like they have a Leica or something like that. Well, Leica, actually, how many times? 3 times! There we go! Okay. 3 hits! That should be good against Leica. There we go. But yeah, I think he's interesting. There's another YouTuber that uses him, Sean B. Yo, boy, Sean B. So if you want to see him in more action, I don't know if Childish has built him or not. Childish might have, but I think Sean B built him. I don't know. But I'll see if I can find the links and link them in the description. But I've been interested to use him. Fire Inagami. Oh my god, go old school Fire Inagami. We're really talking about Fire Inagami. Good farmer. Don't bring him into Mobile Masters. Okay. But he does a lot of damage. His base attack isn't too crazy high though, but he's an RNG king. He gets an extra turn if you kill an enemy. He teams up. He potentially gets an extra turn when you awaken him with this first skill too. So he's so much RNG. If you violent, you get an extra turn on extra turn on extra turn on extra turn, and just he's like the RNG king of you don't know what's gonna happen. Not really reliable. Where do you use him? Not really anywhere anymore. But when the game first started, he used to be a good farmer. Because as long as he can kill something, he gets another turn. He kills something else, he gets another turn. You could farm pretty quickly with a single target monster that way, without having like without having a Lucian. He was one of the free-to-play farming units. But then they brought out the Water Magic Knight, and she's just a better version of that. Even though people are like, no, Water Magic Knight sucks. I still use her, honestly. I still do use her. I have her 6-starred, I have her ruined. I do want to skill her up because I actually use her in the Fire Rift Beast. I think she's not... It's some space. She's not like the most OP monster, but she's a decent farmer. And she's good for the Fire Rift Beast. That Lapis that everyone gets. Fire Golem. We've got this Provoke or Stun chance with the first skill, right? Not bad, not bad. Attacks all enemies at once, portion to your defense, continuous damage for 3 turns. Okay, AoE continuous damage. And then we have this reduces incoming damage by 40% when your HP falls below 50%. I don't see him used too much, but this reduced incoming damage is decent. especially because he's a fire tank, reduces incoming damage. He seems like he'd be a fun monster to use with Vampire. Reduces incoming damage, like when he's low, like Vampire Nemesis maybe. Defense, or speed defense might be interesting, but I mean, like, first skill, like, this is just like, okay, continuous damage, AoE. You could use it for TOA maybe, but there's better stuff. So this is interesting, but really not the most amazing thing in the world. This is attacks accurately, 30% increased chance of landing critical hit, portion to enemies max HP, not bad. Piercing arrows inflicts damage portion to enemies max HP, both max HP, good for the water element, the hollow water. I got it, guys, don't worry. Attacks random enemies, arrows of high velocity, 50% chance to silence the targets for 1 turn. Enemies under the silence effect won't be able to use skills with cooldown, excluding passive skills. I'm not really too crazy about her. If you don't have the light one, the light one's just a better version of the wind one. I would use the wind one if you don't have that, and if you're free to play early game. If you don't have Sigmaris or whatever, you could try using her against the Hall of Water. She does damage based on max HP. I really wouldn't bring her to TOA, she has no CC. That's really the only place that I would even use her. But again, that's if you don't have any other max HP dealing skills. I really am not that excited about her. Then we have this Epicon Priest. She's a little interesting. She's kind of like Vanessa-y. Actually, this is the same... Is it? No, I think Vanessa's 30%. But we have this, it's the same as Chloe and Rena. Attacks, recovers damage dealt, recovers HP, recovers damage, recovers HP, but it doesn't really recover too much because she doesn't do too much damage. Block flow is interesting, extends the time of beneficial effects and shortens the time of harmful effects, and recovers the HP of all allies. So she's kind of like a ghetto Annabelle. Kind of like a ghetto Annabelle. Extends the time of beneficial effects. So like, for example, I think she would be fun to use actually in World Arena. I think she'd be an interesting combo monster in World Arena that people really don't think about too much. Because she's so easy to scale up. She can extend the time of immunity, of invincibility, of shield, of speed break, etc, etc. She shortens the time of harmful effects. So if your team has harmful effects on them, they get shortened or removed. And she has a heal too, and she's got this little revive. It's whatever, it's a revive. But I think she's actually, she could even be, I think she'd be fun to use. Maybe in World Arena. I don't see, she doesn't bring enough utility to actually be used in Guild Wars. Not for Arena offense. For Arena defense, she's just a stall monster. There's nothing exciting about her. I've seen her used before a long time ago for Arena defense, like with Chloe combo, and it's just like cheesy nonsense. But I wonder if she's, because actually Miang is kind of similar to that too. Miang is kind of similar. I wouldn't really build, like for, okay, too long didn't watch, even though you already did watch GG. Really the only interesting ones are maybe this guy for like this skill, right? Maybe this guy because he's immune to defense break. For the 3 stars, I mean. The other 3 stars are like, I don't really get that excited about him. So, not this guy, Miang. I think Miang is an underrated monster for World Arena. For World Arena. She's got this, okay, glancing hit, whatever, I don't care about that. Triple hit, remove one of the enemy's beneficial effects with each hit, increase the attack bar of all allies by 15% per each beneficial effect removed. Damage proportionate to the attack speed. Now, proportion to attack speed. Yes! Yes, triple hit removes beneficial effects. If you're going up against Wusa, counterpick. Wusa, if the opponent picks a Wusa and a Laika, Miang counterpick. Not a bad idea. She is kind of like the light one with that second skill, Blade Fan, right? If you've watched some of the super high level pay to win players use the light Sky Dancer, and you're like, oh my god, that's crazy. Remember, this second skill is just like hers, right? So you still want her super fast, and she will murder, especially if like if the clock is ticking down, she will murder because it's based on attack speed, right? So she can wreck a Leica. Triple hit, baby. Triple hit removes beneficial effects and increases attack gauge. Right? Increases the attack bar of all allies by 15% each per beneficial effect removed. Underrated. Dance Mirage, third skill, recovers the HP of all allies. I would run her super fast, by the way. Also, benefit to running her super fast is she does more damage. Not bad. Run her super fast and tanky, she does more damage anyway. And then recovers the HP of all allies with a mysterious dance and extends the time of beneficial effects and shortens the time of harmful effects. Recovery amount proportion to the attack power. So you do kind of want to like Annabelle, where like you don't want Annabelle squishy, but you do still want some attack power on her at least. But man, she is, I think she's one of the more underrated monsters. She can be useful in raids too. With this extends the time of beneficial, well, not really the beneficial effects, but shortens the time of harmful effects for raids is what I mean. So yeah, so that's why I was saying the this hoe might be fun to use, but Miang is just better, right? Miang is just better. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. That's it for. Why is it 15 minutes again? Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, I gotta go. What do I gotta go do? What do I gotta go do? I gotta go. Oh, I gotta go install a new computer because I just backed up all the data, so I gotta go do that. And the next video, this should be the last video on this computer. The next video should be on the new computer. You probably won't notice anything until we stream, and you'll be like, oh, this is less lag. Good job. Oh, you're playing actual video games, actual PC games, and not just mobile games on the PC. Hold on, you're playing PC games. I can't even understand. That's amazing. That's amazing. Anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys summoned something awesome this week. I will see you as always in the next video.